is Lyrical Burt B, as his MC name, which many of you may not know, once was when he was back in his UK garage prime.
Hot Tanner Garage Crew, Lyrical Bertie B. Still got it. Never left me.
Still got it. Is what drives you?
Making people happy and happiness. I think, I spent 2017 to 2019 building a very financially successful business, only to go, oh look, I climbed to the top of a ladder here, only to work out the ladder was definitely leaning on the wrong proverbial wall. And I've done that a couple of times. Ultimately, I think if I look at this it's really interesting, because when you interview people for a podcast, you vicariously end up learning deeper lessons, and I think inadvertently getting coached. So if you'd like to send me an invoice for this after, that'd be great, because you've basically coached me for the last 60 minutes. I'm mindful of your time and your exceedingly expensive prices. But ultimately, I think when you talk about the why and the values and all that kind of stuff, I was a born entertainer as a kid. I love getting up in front of people, like kids who are like scared and they don't want to do anything. Like, I wanted to be on a stage. My mum and dad, when I was, I've never shared this actually. My mum and dad, when we went on holiday when I was about 10, we had this holiday park in France, and they lost me. And they're like, oh my God, we've lost our kid. Where is he? They're running around like headless chickens. And then before they knew it, they came around the corner. I was entertaining a multinational audience of about 100 people by singing songs on a random stage that I'd set up. And they're like, oh my God. And I've just loved the sound of my own voice, frankly. No, but I've always I liked being involved in the plays at school and all that kind of stuff. And I realized that I like making people happy. I'm probably a bit of a people pleaser, ultimately. And that's kind of led on to, from sort of like entertaining kids at school, to always being the class clown, which probably didn't serve me that well in my education. I was one of those A students that ended up with C grades because I just knobbed about a little bit. The report cards that all the bad and the rough kids were on. I was on that just for being stupid, just because I like to rub people up the wrong way and have a laugh. And then that's what went into, I was a holiday entertainer, I was a cabaret singer, I was a Michael Bublé and Frank Sinatra tribute act in Iron Apple. You can imagine that. Wow. You can imagine how well that goes down in Iron Apple, a Frank Sinatra tribute act in his 20s. Then I did X Factor. I got to boot camp in X Factor. Then I did the radio thing. So I've always had this element of entertainment and bringing people happiness. So I think that's what probably is my biggest driver, really. And even when I sort of make podcasts for other people, I coach other people, like the day you launch your podcast, I'm on it you all day. Where is it in the charts? What's happening? Is it in those curated categories? Will it's gone top 50? Will it's gone top 20? Come on, we've got to share out and syndicate the content and, just share out the graphics and all that stuff. Ultimately, I kind of like making people happy. I like to make it happy. And no, it doesn't work. I try to co-brand that, but it doesn't work.
Wow. Okay, cool. So it's very much about, for you, making other people happy. It's very evident you're a performer. Some of the best voiceovers I've ever heard. Maybe that's what you could do. Just become a voiceover guy. Be the James Burtt.
I tell you what though, I've got a voiceover, because I now run the agency. I've got a proper voiceover guy, and I thought I was pretty good at voice. I can do the X Factor voice, so I can pretend to be Don Cabaret. There's no way that I'm gonna invest in that, and I could do my name's Chris Frog, and I could do a couple of semi-crap impressions. But now I've got a proper voiceover guy, and when he sort of told me what he charges, I'm like, I'm not paying that for 30 seconds of voice. But now I hear him, I'm like, oh, he's got a voice like Audio Caramel. So there's a big difference between the laughable skill set that I have, or the sort of the low end skill set that I have, and actual voiceover entertainers. But yeah, I'd like a gig like the X Factor voice guy. That'd be kind of cool.
I love that. So again, I want to talk about what drives you. So we talk about, for you, it's wanting to perform. That's something that you get that personal satisfaction from. And then I'm right in saying that you worked in media, you was involved in agencies. Yeah. So after I left being at the hotel entertainer, I was a holiday rep at 19, and then I decided I wanted to be a hotel entertainer. Basically because the entertainers used to get to start at 10 o'clock in the morning, not at 8 o'clock like the rest of us. And they just seemed to be having more of a good time. So I did holiday rep.
of which I was in the Saturday Telegraph. I was the world's worst rep. That's a different story for a different occasion, but it's certified I was the world's worst rep. Then I became the holiday entertainer. Then I did the cabaret singing thing. And then, when I'd sort of done all that kind of stuff, I was in a boy, I'm giving away all my secrets here. Why? How are you able to do this? Stop looking at me in the eye, Will Polston. You're drawing this all out of me. You're coaching me. I was in a boy band tribute show called Boys Aloud, and we toured around the UK. True story, an actual name of a band. And, we did things like opened up for Chico at Butlins. I know what you're thinking, big time, you say. And so we did all that kind of stuff. But then I was doing these 18-day stints on the road during the summer, and I wouldn't see my then girlfriend, who then had just become my fiance, etc. And we did the X Factor thing, and I was like, do you know what? I'm never going to be the next Robbie Williams. I'm all right. I can get out. I can hold a tune. I'm not a Pavarotti style vocalist. I get away with it because I'm entertaining ultimately. And but I didn't want to just I knew I needed to do something more normal. So I ended up going into the media space. I ended up doing something called broadcast PR. So I ended up working weirdly at 24 years old with the likes of BMW, Nissan, Nando's, Thomas Cook, not such a good brag anymore, Xbox, RBS, Santander, all these huge brands that I was definitely ill-equipped to work with, frankly. But I just ended up sort of blagging my way into this broadcast PR sphere. And then that ended up me sort of getting more interest in the broadcast space. So that's how I kind of transitioned and kind of pivoted. I've said it again. I can't stop saying it. It's like pivot bingo. But I sort of pivoted from this world of media and business and entertainment. And it's kind of, I've never got too far away from that sort of elements of all that stuff. Because I just love, I guess I'm driven by making stuff that brings people happiness, and whether that be events when I was in the coaching space, or whether that be fantastic branding, or whether it be working with my clients when they're launching podcasts, I still get that buzz from helping other people. But I get to sort of have, I guess, lean back on that experience as someone who's worked in media agencies, sponsorship and promotion, marketing, branding agencies, worked for record labels, and kind of done all those things.
You can find the full episodes of the Make It Happen with Will Polston podcast here on YouTube, on iTunes, Spotify, and all other major podcast platforms.